How to attract downy woodpeckers. Downy woodpeckers, Picoides pubescens, are common across North America. To attract them, you should look in wooded areas with plenty of deciduous trees. Provide suet and other foods that downies like. Place a birdhouse nearby where they can take shelter against the elements. Install a bird bath in the location you wish to attract downies to. Be careful not to confuse downies with their close cousins, the hairy woodpecker. Method 1. Bringing the downy to you. 1. Ensure you're on the right type of land. Downies avoid open spaces and love trees. To attract downy woodpeckers, you must first locate yourself in a wooded area of at least 2 to 3 acres. The area should sport deciduous trees, or an equal mix of deciduous and coniferous trees. Land that has been cleared for agriculture or logging, or land in most urban areas, will not support downy woodpeckers. You will therefore be unable to attract them to these areas. Rural areas are best for attracting downies, though they might be found in certain suburban areas if there is an adequate population of trees. Deciduous trees that are known to attract woodpeckers include beech, maple, oak, and hickory. 2. Use native plants. Downies primarily eat beetles, ants, spiders, aphids, caterpillars, and other bugs. These species thrive in native plants and trees. If you want downies on your property, you should install native plants and trees, rather than non-native shrubs, grasses, and plants. Botanists at your local arboretum should be able to help you identify species native to your area. You could also check the University of Texas Native Plant Database at https://www.wildflower.org, plants, for help identifying native species in your area. The bugs downy woodpeckers like might also be present in non-native trees and foliage, but their populations will probably be smaller. 3. Imitate a downy woodpecker call. Downies attract one another by calling for mates. If you have a recording of a downy woodpecker call, you could play it if you suspect woodpeckers are nearby. There are many recordings of downy woodpeckers available online. Play these imitation calls through your smartphone or tablet in order to attract downies. Check online for clips of woodpecker calls. Method 2. Making the downy happy. 1. Provide shelter. While downy woodpeckers, like all woodpeckers, prefer nesting in the hollows of trees, they might also be interested in living in an appropriately sized birdhouse. You can buy a birdhouse at most home and garden stores. The birdhouse should have a 4-foot x 4 base and sides at least 10 high. The hole should be located in the center of one of the sides about 7 foot from the base, and be 1.25 in diameter. Attach the birdhouse to a sturdy tree between 8 and 20 feet off the ground. If the birdhouse is in the midst of a woody area, the woodpecker will find it more attractive. Fill the birdhouse with about 4 inches of wood shavings. The woodpecker can use these for nesting material. You could also simply leave a dead tree standing in your yard if you don't want to invest in a birdhouse. 2. Put out their favorite foods. Downy woodpeckers adore suet. Placing some suet balls or suet cakes in the backyard will bring the local downy woodpeckers to you. They also like fruit, sunflower seeds, cracked corn, and donuts. Break any donuts you might give to woodpeckers up in small bits before putting them out. Downies favor suet with peanut butter, millet, or nuts. You can buy pre-made suet cakes or balls at your local home and garden store. 3. Provide a drumming site. In order to attract mates and claim territory, woodpeckers of both sexes will make a rapid tapping against wood with their beaks. If you want to provide an artificial drumming site, you can nail a board firmly to a tree about 10 to 20 feet up, then attach another board to the first, nailing it only at the top edge. You should locate the site well away from your house, since the noise of woodpeckers drumming can be quite loud. Covering the second board with a thin layer of sheet metal might make the drumming site more attractive to the woodpeckers. Drumming is a unique behavior that gives woodpeckers their name. 4. Provide a bird bath. While downies are rarely seen at birdbaths, they will use them from time to time. They might also drink from the birdbath. Downies might be more inclined to visit a birdbath during winter when liquid water is scarce. Instead of drinking from birdbaths, downies tend to drink from puddles, ponds, or places where water collects on horizontal tree limbs. Method 3. Recognizing downy woodpeckers. 1. Check the size and shape. Downies are about 15 centimeters, 7 inches, long. They are black and white, with a white stripe down their backs. The downy woodpecker's black bill is straighter and narrower than that of other birds, allowing it to chisel hard wood. Males have a red cap on their heads. It first appears on the forehead and moves toward the back of the head as they age. A small tuft of white fur is present at the base of the bill, between the eyes. 2. Look for the right colors. Downies have black wings, with flecks of white. A white stripe runs down the center of the back, and their chests are also white or grayish. Their eyes are contained within a large black splotch of fine feathers surrounded by white feathers. 3. Don't confuse downies with other woodpeckers. Downies are easy to confuse with their close relative, the hairy woodpecker. There are several distinct differences that separate the two species. Hairy woodpeckers are quite a bit larger, around 9 inches long from head to tail, and have longer bills than downies. The outer edges of their tail feathers are white, whereas downy woodpeckers have black spots on their outer tail feathers. Hairy woodpeckers have a slim black mark on their shoulders that arcs downward toward the chest. In downies, this mark is relatively short and far less prominent. Warnings. Before cutting down or removing a tree, check for woodpeckers and other birds by monitoring activity in and around the tree for several days. If downies or other birds are present, do not remove the tree.